like you specific, like only like what you can do.
So the point is you need to fix it. Who thinks they have a good example? Naveed?
It says that if the average is 5.5 tons, then my family might produce 12 to 13 tons because my dad drives a lot.
Yes, excellent. Okay, because his father drives a lot, using lots of gas. Okay. All right, number 2, use global warming wheel and the information gathered for homework to fill in the data table on the student answer page. That's what we're going to do next. Number 3, part 1 of the analysis section on your student answer page, calculate the total CO2 emission in pounds for your family. Adjust this number to reflect the amount of CO2 you use as an individual produced by dividing the total CO2 emission by the number of people in your household. Record this value in the appropriate box. So everybody is not going to have the same numbers because you have different number of people living in your house. Everybody see that? So your individual amount is going to be different than people sitting at your table. All right? And part 2 we might not get to, but it's basically what you can do, and it's a blue wheel instead of green, okay, and about things that you can do to change your CO2 emissions. And we'll talk about that if we get to that later. All right, anybody have a question so far? All right, what are the 2 things you're going to do when you get with your group? Oh, Carla, go ahead.
So I asked my grandfather and my grandmother, but I'm not sure if I should combine the 2 for the chart.
I'll come to your table and we'll talk about it, okay? Anybody else have a question? All right, so what are the 2 things you're going to be doing? You're going to be calculating how much CO2 your family produces, and then you're going to figure out individually, all right, by using the wheels. All right.
Ooh, the little pencils. Oh, yay.
Paper with you and a pen or pencil. All right, if you have a diamond back there at that table, diamond.
Someone again the shot.
Squares back at the corner table. All right, I'm gonna videotape you.
Okay, that's kind of weird.
All right, Ida.
What do I do?
Just talk normal. So how much recycling do you do?
0 pounds.
0?
Yeah.
Okay, so Brian, can she look at the chart and see what 0 would be for recycling?
I already know what it is. It's 6.66.
That's right.
Yep.
I had my mom. She gave me 2 heating bills. So the winter we have $100, and then in the summer it's only $30. So which one am I supposed to use?
So you would do an average. So
Okay.
there's maybe 4 months out of the winter. So that'd be about 400.
Okay.
And then what'd you say during the summer?
$30.
So maybe the other 8 months times 30.
Okay.
Okay. So what'd you find, Ida?
It says for you don't recycle at all, 2,000 pounds a year.
That's a lot, right, Ida? All right. How you doing? Okay. Do you have a question or you got it? All right.
For if we take the public transportation, would we just put?
So that's 0. So that's really good. So then, how much CO2 are you putting in? 0, because you're using public transportation.
Wait, I actually have a question.
Yep.
So, my heating bill is like $125.
Yep.
So basically, it would go to this.
Yep.
But would I add like 1/4 of whatever this is?
Yeah. So add a little bit. Yeah.
Should I use someone else's data? We're a very slow family. We drive around like 30 miles a week.
Okay. You guys have any questions?
I do.
All right, Sarah, go ahead.
Okay, so my mom said that she said on average it's 500, but then I have 2 cars, so it'd be 1,000. So how exactly would I like? Because the max is 600.
So what is it for? Does it have 500 or 400? I can't remember.
500.
Or
200, 400, 600.
so multiply 200 times 5.
200 times 5.
Yep. Right, and that would be 1,000.
200 times 5 would be 1,000.
And then so multiply the amount of CO2 by that. That's a lot, Sarah.
I have one question. Oh my god. How do I get on camera? Hello.
You know,
Hello.
you're gonna be the typical teenager in the video.
Nah, not typical. I just want to.
Say it again.
I just want to say hi.
Like 50 miles. Not 50, yeah, 50 miles.
So the lowest amount is 200. So 50 is how much out of 200?
Okay, so if it says we don't recycle at all.
So divide that number of emissions by 1/4. Okay.
Or you could take the emissions and then just.
Plus grandpa.
How you guys doing? You already done, Leon? So explain to me how you got yours, Leon.
Well, we try and recycle everything we can, and then my dad drives really far for his work, and then all the heating. We don't really use that much heating because most of the time we're not at home, and then we use a lot of electricity, I guess.
So you're kind of trying to make up for all the driving by doing everything else at lower amounts.
Yep.
That's good. All right, Naomi, you guys okay? How's it going?
4,700.
Is that the
miles.
Yes, that's a lot. They really drive that much?
But there's like a lot of different cars. Look at how many different cars.
Okay, so when you get to the family numbers, that'll lower the amount a little, like not a lot, but it'll still be a huge number, Gigi. You guys should be carpooling more.
I have no idea what's happening. I just put a random amount. I'd put half the amount of GG because I can't.
I would say less, don't you think, Stephanie, than that number for driving? Don't you think way less? 2,000. You think your parents drive 2,000 miles
My
in a week?
dad drives to New Hampshire every day.
Really? Your parents need to take some public transportation.
My only reason why it's so low for us because my mom's at her workplace. It's like $20 just to pay for parking, so she takes the train there. Only on the weekends she drives it, and then if she's like free to pick us up from school.
Oh, but my dad drives his friends because like every single week he goes to New York because his friend, for some reason he needs to go to New York every single week.
New York or New Hampshire?
New York.
His friends need to go to New York every single week, so my dad drives him.
But I guess you can kind of consider that carpooling, so they're not really, because then you divide that amount by 2 people. But, so try to work with the numbers. I know, Stephanie, you don't have your, but try to work with it as best as possible, you know.
Where's transportation?
All right?
How many miles is it to Boston about?
About 11 miles, but it depends on traffic. You could be sitting there emitting a lot of CO2 if you're stuck in traffic for hours. Is he usually stuck in traffic or not? So 11 miles, round trip it's like 22.
How about to New Hampshire?
Depends what part of New Hampshire.
I don't know. I have no idea.
So why don't you just stick with doing the Boston mileage? Don't worry about New Hampshire right now.
I
Okay.
use 64 miles.
I think, I'm not sure either. It's a lot.
I use a lot of electricity. What do you want me
You want Jade to check?
to do?
How to type in.
It's $500 of electricity. That's bad.
How you guys doing?
Good.
What'd you get, Robert? Did you get your amount yet?
Alexa, haha, you
Well, should I just try to think of what it is?
Yeah.
I kind of have a good guess too.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely know recycling.
Who has the least amount here so far of everything?
I'm starting to feel bad about how much I recycle. She has
Well, that's the point.
Her home heating bill is $1,000 per month.
What do you guys have it set at? 85 degrees?
The only, well, I don't think.
Or is your house really old?
It is really old.
So what do you think your parents should do to make sure that all that heat isn't escaping?
My house is really old and we only use like
Check to see, they definitely should have it checked to see how much is escaping.
we have a 70s television.
For all your cars, you have 2 cars.
So how much do you contribute? Did you figure it out yet?
There are 4 people in my house.
No.
Yeah, including me.
Okay.
And then so you divide that by that.
Day. Plus school.
11,900. So it was about 12,000.
So compared to the average,
5.5 tons. I emit less.
you're almost, no.
Oh no! Wait, what? I'm more.
Well, that's in pounds of CO2.
Oh, and then the
So-
tons. Oh yeah, that thingy.
1 ton is 2,000 pounds.
So how am I supposed to figure out how many?
So
tons that
5.5, right? Times 2,000.
Heating bill.
It's 11,000. So you're actually doing really well.
Yay! bit.
You're a little bit over, but I'll be right back, Gigi.
What would I put as the percentage for waste disposal?
All right, so do you put out as much recycling as possible? Do you do about nothing? Zero? Never, ever? So look at the amount for,
I know, but what do we put?
so you put 0.
What would like? Oh, I do as much as possible.
I was close.
But what would like? I don't know because he told me in pounds like how much we recycle.
Right,
A week
so-
in pounds.
Turn it to waste.
You recycle about half for everything.
Electric bill.
Everything we can. Everything we can. is
I
1,000.
estimated that it was about. No, I'm totally off.
All right.
So then
We
I'm
recycle
about
everything
average.
we can, and
So I
then.
meet the Kyoto
So you would write that number down at the bottom.
protocol.
All right.
Okay? Good. Most people are all set. Yes.
How do I find this? Do you see that big number? This makes me feel so
So you
bad.
divide this number by 4.
Okay, let's find. Okay, hold on. Let me find it again. That's bad.
And then yelling.
All right. All right. I'm waiting. All right, so the next video I'm going to show you, he's actually a teenager like you, and he's going to talk about the Kyoto Protocol and what maybe we should all think about doing in the future. And it's very interesting because he is a teenager and he is very intelligent. It's very interesting. Okay, Robert, you want to hit the lights over there?
What?
Hit the lights for me over there.
Robert. I'm not running. Don't mess up, Robert. How was this messed up today? Good job, Robert.
Okay, everybody should be listening.
It's not that big of an achievement. I just call it. I say G's instead of G's.
There are many brilliant ideas soaring throughout our lifetimes. What if I could travel in time? What if I could see the future? What if the future were in ruins? What if I saved the world with the Kyoto Protocol? Some of you may be thinking, the Kyoto what? The Kyoto Protocol is for the UNFCCC, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, an organisation with an ambit to solve the world apocalyptic problem known and understood as global warming. Now, I know many adults, especially my parents, are probably saying, "Oh, global warming, we're doing it, it's okay." However, I shall give you many alluring facts and figures as to why you should think this to be true. But first, the greenhouse effect. There are a series of gases located around the world that let in 51% of the sun's rays. The gases contain nitrous oxide, sulfur hexafluoride, methane, and carbon dioxide. What a mouthful. However, we are adding on to this by factories and cars, leading to drought in Africa, flooding in UK, and struggling of little baby polar bears in Arctic areas. Doesn't he look cute? You want to know why? Here's an example. The average American produces 140 pounds of CO2 a day. Multiply that by 365 a year, and then by 320 million, that makes a lot of CO2. Imagine more countries doing the exact same thing, polluting and causing more problems for the environment. Which leads on to my next topic, Canada. The Canadian Environmental Minister, pt2, said it would cost each family $1,600 to be part of the Kyoto Protocol. This may be true. However, wouldn't you pay to live another 50 years? I certainly would. I would be very happy knowing there'd be a better future. And they don't need to tax people with this fee. I mean, the government should really just pay for it themselves, you know? There are 191 countries already in the Kyoto Protocol. Many of you now are probably thinking, why am I standing up here going on and on and on about something that's already done? However, America and Canada and areas such as South Sudan, Andorra and Afghanistan can produce a lot as well. Annexed areas, for example, have reduced 5.8% of their emissions between the periods of 2008 and 2012. Many of you are thinking right now, how do you know they're telling the truth? The areas signed in the Kyoto Protocol are legally bound to write a fully detailed report about what they're emitting, what they're reducing, and any ideas they have come up with. If they do not comply with the minimum requirements of the protocol, they can get fined and kicked out of the protocol. They deserve it anyway. Like what I said before. Happy Antarctic animals for you geographers. Knowing they're safe and living for 100 years, we want to continue our history, yeah? And kids like me, no, I'm a teenager and life's different. Knowing, running across hills, knowing they're safe and free from all problems, don't you want that to happen? But back on Canada, I'd certainly do anything to help. Seriously, I'd pay all of my allowance for that. Now, this quote is from Only Fools and Horses, a British TV show which a few of you might recognise. Read from Nicholas Lyndhurst. We do not own this world. We are merely the leaseholders. It is our duty to protect the environment and ourselves from harm. Remember what I said in the start? What if I could save the world? I'm just a teenager. I can't do anything. But I'm going to change it a bit. It's not going to still say, what if I save the world? It's not going to be, what if you save the world? But what if we save the world?
I know it.
What if we save the world together? Thank you.
All right, come on, go hit the lights. So what is he trying to say?
We can make a difference.
You can make a difference. How? By what? By reducing your CO2 emissions. So when your parents tell you to turn off the lights, to turn down the heat, to walk to school, not only are they trying to make you a good young adult, a good citizen, they might be thinking about emissions and the rest of the world, how you are affecting it. Just small little things that you could do differently might help change things. There's a whole nother part about the Kyoto Protocol, and we'll talk about that more tomorrow, about why certain countries are having a better effect than here in the United States, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow. For tonight's homework, I want you to try to think of a few different things that you could do on a daily basis that would help reduce your CO2 emissions. Okay, and we'll use that in class tomorrow. Anybody have a question?
Maybe.
All right. Anybody else have any comments about the video and what he was saying?
He's British.
Yes, he is. Anybody else? What, Leon?
No.
He said discriminating.
Why?
He's not British.
How do you know he's not?
What if he's Australian with a weird accent?
What about the content in the video?
No,
He's like 14. He's pretty bright.
It's UK. That accent is from UK.
All right, let's focus. Focus. So what were some of the key things that he said in the video?
He's a teenager.
He is, and so you are all teenagers. Netta?
I know, it's not, I can save the world, it's not you can save the world, it's
We can save the world.
We can do it.
All right, I am about